Hello, everybody, and welcome to Riches in the Soul Summit. I'm Christine Furtado, your host, and Riches of the Summit is to help you build your empire rich in soul, love, and freedom. So today I have a very special guest, Michelle Lightworker, and Michelle is going to give us a little bonus treat today, a little webinar talking about Enlightened Conversation and the process. And so welcome, Michelle. So nice to have you here.
Thanks so much, Christine. It's lovely to have the little bonus. I love it. Thank
you. And thank you for doing that for our listeners. I'm sure they really appreciate that. So, Michelle, for those that are maybe new or not familiar with the Riches in the Soul Summit, if you could briefly introduce yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So I wear a number of hats, so I'll try and reel them off for you. But predominantly what I'm all about is really unity-oriented thinking with leaders of today and tomorrow, and trying to showcase how to do that and how to role model that in the world in a variety of ways. So for me, being part of the Riches and the Soul Summit has been a big deal. I really feel a sense of unity with you, Christine, and also, I can see that we resonate so much on the same level insofar as wanting to bring people together that hold those high vibrations. I'm also the director and producer of a new TV and radio podcast show called Enlightened Conversations that really brings those people to me to have those conversations with. So I'll be happy to expand on that today. I'm also the editor of Lightworker Advocate magazine, which also aims to bring people together to talk about how high vibrational frequencies operate in everyday life. I'm also an author of I'm writing my 11th book now. It already feels like it's been written in a lot of ways. And I also run an online training, Lightworker practitioner training program. So I wear a lot of hats, but ultimately I'm just a human being and a spirit having this human experience, just like all of you. So hopefully we can find a way to connect on this little bonus episode where you can feel inspired to step into your own sense of unity with yourself and other people, because that's what I aim to do.
Perfect. And if anybody if you're looking to find out even more about Michelle's journey, definitely head over to richesinthesoulsummit.com, because then you get to hear her background and her journey there as well, which I love your whole journey and your transition as well. So so dive right into, this is your show, and tell our listeners about the Enlightened Conversations and what it is that you're doing, because I just love your work and bringing people together and the collaboration. It's a great platform for people just to tell their stories, but also for other people to resonate. And the stories, I find them so inspiring and gives people hope and courage that they can turn around and do these things. So the floor is yours.
Oh, thanks, Christine. Well, before I start, I just want to say I don't want anyone to be scared when they see my nails, because it is Christmas time.
Yes.
And I come from a Greek background, so I use my hands a lot. I'm going like this, or I'm going like that. You'll be like, oh my God, what's she doing? I just thought I'd forewarn people that I'm a little bit of a fun time person. That's part of one of I'm bit goofy, bit quirky, and a little bit random. And yesterday when I went and got my nails done, I was like, I'm having the green.
I love it. Well, it's a good disclaimer in case people are watching this in the summer and it's Christmas. So that's a good disclaimer.
Exactly. Yes, it's Christmas time. We have a good excuse, right?
Yes.
Look, I think probably the best way to start, like how Enlightened Conversations actually kicked off the TV show, was because I had been working, doing a lot of stuff since 2005 on higher vibrational frequencies. I channel a lot of that through really in one big workshop that I delivered, and then everything has built from there. And I came to a place where I had been working for A1R Psychic Radio. I had my own show called Everyday Lightworker Enlightenment, and Spirit tapped me on the shoulder and said, it's time to go, you know, when you get that sort of message to move on. And it wasn't a bad thing, because I loved being with A1R Psychic Radio. Love them to bits. They're beautiful. I still consider them family. And I'd been doing that for a year, and I'd been putting together the Lightworker Advocate magazine and working with a lot of people for the whole year. And I got this tap on the shoulder, and I really didn't know what was next, but I did know that it was going to be a longer show, because my show with A1R was a half hour, and it never felt long enough for me. I was just like, just needed extra. I was like, okay, it's going to be a longer show. I had no idea. It's a bit like the story of my life. I had no idea how to do whatever upstairs was wanting me to do, but I did the formal thing and put my resignation in before I knew. And then I was told all this information about how you know, what we want you to do. Basically, what happened was on the 2nd of November, I launched my first live stream of Enlightened Conversations, which you could say, didn't work, or you could say it was perfect. So it's kind of interesting. I think I need to write a book one day called My Successful Unsuccesses, or something like that, because everything that I've done that look back and go, that didn't work, actually it was a catapult to what needed to happen. And so what happened was, initially, what the intention was to do was to live stream Enlightened Conversations, where I had a guest, and we just basically have an unscripted, unplanned conversation where we would, whatever came through, we'd talk about, and we focus on a really enlightened view of any situation. That was basically the intention. So I could talk about whatever was running for me. My guests could talk about whatever was running for them, what they did, a bit about them. It was a very open and organic idea. Very intuitive broadcasting, I like to call it.
Yeah.
And so we set up a live stream. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. I set up the live stream on Facebook. I set up the video conferencing software as well, and tried to run them at the same time. And so what happened was, the Facebook live stream, there was no sound on it. So it ended up being just the recording of that, and a lot of probably people going, can't hear you, and all that kind of stuff. But what happened from that was, Spirit decided to have a Q&A the next day. And then I was told that Michelle, you need to pre-record all the shows. Now, Christine, I had planned to have a show a week, except for the little Christmas New Year's period, pretty much leading up to the end of February. Okay, so I had 16 people, 16 shows that I had planned to do, one a week. Okay, we're talking one a week. That's manageable, you'd say, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So when that happened with the live stream, I realised that I would be doing 2 a week, and then Spirit said, "No, you're not." And I'm like, "What? What's going on?" And then it was like, you're going to pre-record. You're pre-recording the show, and then you're going to have the Q&A, so people have time to digest it for about a week, or whatever's manageable within the scope of being Christmas time and all that stuff. I'm like, okay. So here I was. The 2nd of November happened, and I basically got on my little chats and emails and the phone and everything, and scheduled everyone in as quickly as I could to pre-record, the other 15 shows. Now, I ended up getting an extra one because we had a summit special. So technically 16 shows in a very short period of time. Because tonight, which is today we're doing our little recording, it's the 2nd of December, and I'm flying off to Sydney. So I knew I only had a short window of time. Yes. So you can imagine.
Yes.
You can imagine that I had no idea what I was really getting myself in for, and that was okay, because Spirit just said, just turn up and be yourself.
Yes.
And that was what I was telling everybody. I actually said, just turn up and be yourself. It's like, you know what? We're having a conversation, and people are just having a little bit of a blah. They're just they're sitting in, but something's going to happen, because when you actually have an enlightened conversation where people see that really nothing's a problem, it's how you look at it, or you're role modeling that together, like in unison, like you're equal, you're just sharing, something magical happens. It's like you're taking viewers on a journey that they get to live with you. so they're along for the ride, so to speak. I'm like, wow, because I didn't really understand I really didn't understand it. I just knew that this is what I had to do.
Yeah.
And then, of course, so here I am, about a month later, you could say. I survived.
Awesome. You know what's funny though? Did you find though, because you have a date, you're doing it no matter what, right? Yeah.
Pretty much. And
which is kind of like my summit, you know, you got a date and you're doing it. So if you have to not sleep for 2 days, that's what you do, right? So no, kudos to you. I know how that is, because I mean, putting on the summit, I had to do, you know, over 20 video interviews, and then we've done the bonus webinars on top of that, which literally I've done, like, you're my 6th one today. So I totally understand, but you've done an amazing job, and I just love your enlightened conversation. So you keep going. I just had to mention that. So
thank you. I think you get really good at just being yourself and dropping your guard and dropping the pretenses. If you feel like you've got some psyche that want to fly up and go, well, I should look like that or be like that, or, you know, like, whatever. I did them yesterday. I didn't actually consider how they'd look on the show at all at the time. I just did them because that's what I felt like doing. Do you know, like, I got, yeah. But I think for me, I think that what I had a little bit of a sticky point, and I want to share that with you. It happened last week, and I was on a walk with my husband, and we were, you know, traveling along. And the thing that you don't know, well, you do, because you know me. The thing that has also been going on since just the end of October is that we've been renovating the bathroom. Now, it's not a little renovation. We've been, like, weekends, evenings, so that's been in the mix as well, grouting, you know, to all hours and all that jazz. Anyway, so we're on a walk, and I mentioned to my husband something about, you know, Enlightened Conversation, rah, 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 and he goes, yeah, well, it'll be good when they start. And this is like, we're talking for like 3-4 weeks in. Yeah. I'm like, where have you been? I've been doing my shows. Had a little mini meltdown, I think. But the thing I realized was that I had been so in my little bubble of needing to do this, and also then I'd switch bubbles and I'd get into the grouting bubble or the bathroom bubble. And so we had a little bit of a miscommunication, obviously. So the gift, right? So the gift out of this situation, what was it? Like, at the time, I felt a little bit injured because emotionally I did, because oh my God, I've been asked to do this big thing, shouldn't you know, that kind of stuff. But I meditated. I got back from the walk and I was really cross, but I meditated, and the information that came through was incredible. Like, it shifted so quickly. My husband was profusely apologetic, poor bugger, like, oh my God. But what happened for me was I got the message that this is actually interesting. You've been through doing all these recordings, like, solidly, and you can see how you've changed. You're continually having to turn up for these enlightened conversations. It's keeping you really solid in where you need to be, and live. And this is how people are going to watch it, Michelle. They're not just going to watch one episode. They're going to binge watch it. That's what people do. This is the aim of the binge watch, which is really interesting because people are immersing themselves then in enlightenment. So I'm like, oh my God, I was gobsmacked and went, of course. And so there's this real opportunity to then sit down with my husband, which we're going to do, and have a really good watch of all of them back to back and go, how was that? Like, and then, you know, get that, like, viewer experience. So I guess there you go. There's an example of how we do enlightened conversations. You know, something comes up, we talk about it, we're real about it. We talk about the real emotional process. We're not hiding that. Of course I was upset. Who wouldn't be? Why wouldn't you be disappointed? It's important to you. But then what do you do about it? Get some extra information, go, oh my God, what? That is gold. Thank you, Spirit. That is gold. How did you do that? How did not my husband, with all my Facebook posts, all my busyness, and in his mind he thought I was just pre-recording. He didn't get that some of them had rolled out, right? Because I've been busy pre-recording. So, you know, it's phenomenal, isn't it, Christine? Like how when we allow ourselves to just turn up, there's other things at play and we can't see them at the time, but they are gold. And especially when we're working with other people and inviting them into the mix, I guess it helps them to build their faith as well.
Yes, exactly. And, you know, I'm glad that you brought it up. I know we talked about it before we got on here. We had all talked about doing these webinars, and you know, it was getting like Summit has started, and like I haven't actually. I'm a person of my word, so if I told you guys we're going to do this, or you know, would offer it, you know, so my thought was, you know, Summit starting, I'm not going to worry about it. But then I thought, you know, it's not about me, and it's not about you guys. It's about the people, you guys, the audience. So when I shifted my thought process, it was, it's like, okay, now it's not a strain or a stress. It's like, we're doing this, right? So, and graciously, you guys, you know, a good 6 or 7 of you guys have decided to, actually, I think there's 8 now that out of, you know, the 21 that decided to do it, which I'm completely, to me, it was gracious of you guys to offer to do that in addition to do your other interviews. But you're absolutely right. As soon as you shift the mindset, our thinking, your feeling completely releases. And, you know, so I'm glad you brought that up. So did you feel like, you know, I kind of sense like you felt like it was like you're in that moment and you're just, like you said, just doing it. And then suddenly it's like, I can't believe I just did, like you said, how many you did? Like 18 in how many days? Like, right?
I did that first one on the 2nd of November. And then I did recorded another 16. And then, of course, each week I've been doing the live stream Q&As, which for that interaction is a separate thing. So that my Facebook can handle the sound. And so there's been 4 of those as well. So altogether, if you include 16, 17 and 4, I guess that's 21.
Yeah.
That I've done in a month now.
Wow, that's amazing. And you know, it's a lot of work. I mean, I totally understand what you're going through, because it's, you know, it's not even just doing it, showing up and being present in those moments, but it's organizing it all. And, you know, you're doing all the graphics and, you know, putting it all together. I totally get, you know, now you can put on the Summit because it's pretty much the same thing. So,
maybe I should put on an Enlightenment Summit or something. I mean, you know, I don't know if I need to, but you know, because I think, you know, the Enlightened Conversations is kind of rolling out every week anyway. But yeah, I mean, maybe that might be a nice thing to do. I'm open to it. About that. But I really feel, you know, if anyone's watching and they feel like they want to be involved, and really it is about sharing space with me and spirit. It's not about how many qualifications you have or what you do for a job. It's that you really resonate with what I call the 12 Everyday Lightworker principles. Write about them. We all write about them in the Lightworker Advocate magazine. And also, I don't know if you can see that, it's the Everyday Lightworker Bible. So I wrote about them in there too. But they're all really high vibrational frequencies, like love. You've got honesty, open-mindedness, willingness. You've got forgiveness, unity, discipline, faith, responsibility, love, wholeness, joy, and peace. So they're really high vibrational principles. And we don't have to be perfect at them. You know, obviously look at me. I mean, I've bet my vulnerability for you guys to see that you don't have to be perfect. It's a very important message, and we talk about a lot on the show, to be really in that energy and intention of really wanting to live those principles. If I do give priority for my Lightworker Advocate contributors to be on the show. So, you know, if you feel you have something that you want to pop in, it doesn't have to be an article. It could be a piece of artwork. It could be a story on something, maybe a short video, because we're very open now to how people access the higher vibrational frequencies. You know, I had a couple of people say, oh, maybe I could record a little short snippet of something, you know, verbally for the magazine. And I'm like, why not? You know, I just like the summer edition. I was on the Q&A panel for the Inspired Living events. We had a movie that we watched called The Resonance, and then they recorded the Q&A, and I was on the panel for that, which is awesome. And I put like a little picture in the magazine, and then put the YouTube link to the, you know, to the actual video. So there's no, you know, there's ways around how people can creatively express how they feel they connect to those high vibrations as well. So I really just want to encourage you to keep an open mind about that, and to really jump on. We've also got a private Facebook group for our Lightworker contributors. We've gone from 0 to 100. I think it's 100 and over 150 contributors in just over a year. So
wow,
it's
that's really good.
Really building community, real community on people that really connect with those frequencies. And the other thing I just want to say is that I'm very passionate about, that you guys need to know, I feel, is I don't believe in competition.
Yes.
I don't believe that anyone who's doing anything, I don't care what it is better than anyone else. I feel that we're all equal. Mm-hmm. We're all put on this planet to express what spirit wants to come through us. And we need to get on with the business of doing that. Stop comparing ourselves with other people and thinking it's a competition, and trust and be in faith, which is one of the principles, that we will attract who we need, who need us, who need our message. Okay. And not only that, but we're always learning. I'm learning from my contributors. I'm learning from my guests. We're always on that equal footing. So I just wanted to mention that too. I know you've experienced it with me, Christine, anyway.
Yes. You know, and I want to add to that, just for the audience, for what I've experienced. So first of all, you're one of my soul sisters from the summit. And I've met so many, you know, through you, I've met so many great people. So that's the first thing, the connection we have. And, you know, I love what you mentioned about no competition, because what we've done together, and like I said, all the people I've met through you, it's just about the collaboration. And you've graciously, you know, there's an article in there telling my story, but also the summit, sharing the summit. So I'm grateful for that, and gracious to be able to put that out. But then we also had, you know, the Enlightened Conversation, and then we're doing this together. You know, so it's like a back and forth give and take. So I want all of our listeners to know that that's what this is about. But then the other thing, I think there's two things for our listeners is, if you're someone, there's a lot of entrepreneurs that are spiritual entrepreneurs, you know, healers, enlightened persons as well within our audience, that if you've got something to share, even if you're just starting out or whatever, reach out to Michelle. And help contribute that way, or just reach out and you guys can figure, you know, something out. So that's the first thing. But I also feel that if there's anybody in our audience or listeners that, you know, you're going through some stuff, whatever that is that you're going through right now, I would have loved, you know, for those of you guys that know my story with the burnout and from burnout to brilliant, I would have loved something like that, to read the stories. So yeah, so anybody in the audience or the listeners that, you know, whatever stuff you're going through, I'm sure there's one of those articles. And the other piece of that is your magazine is also digital, right?
Yeah, free and digital.
Free, and it's digital. And like you said, there's all the links to everything. So it's just amazing. And I love your work and what you're doing and your collaboration. I think it's beautiful.
Thanks, beautiful. Oh, it's great. I'm so glad I got to share my journey, really, my recent journey. It's very fresh. I literally, today's the last, you know, in that month is the last, I guess it's number 22, isn't it? Because we're doing something else, of turning up and you know, having an enlightened conversation, which is really cool. I like that. I like that. we ended up doing this on the 2nd of December, and I started on the 2nd. See, I didn't even think of that. And isn't that amazing how that works? Hey,
yes,
like it's all lined up, ahead of time. See how she goes, and then she gets to debrief, and everybody gets to see it, and they see that she's a real person, and that it's all cool, and they can do it too.
That's right. Yes, exactly. And you know what? I think too, it's a great attestment to all of us that, exactly what you did is just get started. Don't worry about being perfect. Even my first summit, I didn't have a website at the time. So just start, just one foot in front of the other. I think it's beautiful what you've done. It's a great attestment of what we should all do.
Thank you. Yes, I agree. Totally do. Yeah. I think if I waited to be perfect before I started, I wouldn't have started, and B, I would have probably done a really shit job of being perfect, because I would have thought it was over that direction, and I'm being pulled over that direction. Do you know what I mean? Like it wouldn't look at all. So yeah, don't wait till you think you know what you're going to do. Look at it all as, if you feel called to do something, then look at it like this is your next learning step. And you know what? You're not going to do it perfectly, but you're going to learn a hell of a lot, and be gracious about that. Be in your humility about that, not in your shame. Be in your humility and say, yep, I'm learning. Yep, I'm stretching. And yep, I'm open to help. Thank you. And then it's fun, and then it's an adventure, and then it's like you just don't realize how much you can actually do, because you're not creating those blocks that go, oh, I should have, and bang, 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 and you're just going, okay, cool. Oh, wow, I learned a lot. Oh, gosh, okay, live stream didn't work. Oh, okay, well, what else? And, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, thank you for the work you do, and thank you for doing the Enlightened Conversations as well as the magazine. I think it's just beautiful the work that you're doing. So thank you for that, and thank you for coming and having our own Enlightened Conversation here, but also providing this extra little bonus for our listeners today. Really super appreciate that. And I want you to share where we can find you, and I will also put the links in the description below on the YouTube video as well. So yeah, go ahead and share that with us.
Absolutely. So there's two main ways you can find me. You can go to the website, lightworkerreflections.com. If you want to view the episodes, you can go to enlightenedconversations.com.au, because it's on our website, but I actually created another name that jumps out at people. And I mean, you can also check me out on Facebook. As far as I know, I'm the only Michelle Lightworker at this point in time. I usually have a pretty obvious picture of my gob, so it's all good. And thank you so much, Christine, for having me on the show, being part of the summit, being so gracious, being willing to collaborate, being extremely forgiving when we have, different time zones and communication. You've been awesome. I've really felt very relaxed and very supported. Just in the energy field of this whole thing, and with you. So thank you so much.
My pleasure. And like you said, the connections we've created has been amazing, and it's been my pleasure to have you on. And I know I know I say this a lot to probably everybody, but we're on this journey together and beyond. That's kind of my thing. It's not just about today. I believe we've, even all the speakers, all of us, we've really all connected and collaborated. And I believe, this is just the beginning for something even more great. So, and it's kind of like a lifetime connection that we're going to have. So I really appreciate that. So to you guys, our audience and their listeners, if you haven't, I will put all the URLs in the description. So if you wanted to know more about Michelle and her journey and her backstory, then join richesandthesoulsummit.com, and then go in there and you'll get all the interviews within your inbox. And if you wanted to connect with me, head over to ChristineFurtadoEnterprises.com. And again, I will put all that in the description. And thank you so much for joining us. And we'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.